So, but of course, what I was going to say is we don't just have people on the Republican side that are against us, or necessarily not the Republican side, but on the other side, heterosexuals that are all against us and hate us. You would think that gay people generally are going to be pro-gay, and there are some who are actually aren't. For example, as I talked about a couple of weeks ago, Dolce & Gabbana came out and said that they don't believe in gays having babies or gay marriage and blah, blah, blah. So there are gay people in our own community who are hurting our cause as well. So it's not just them. Of course, they're a huge minority. But beyond that, we have the stupid gay hotelier, Ian Reisner, and I think his partner or whatever, in I can't remember where they lived, at Provincetown or Fire Island or something like that. I think it was Fire Island in New York State, who were hosting Ted Cruz at a dinner. And of course, when it got out that these high-profile, wealthy gay men were hosting anti-gay Ted Cruz, it was incredible news, a story. It was one of the top stories, right? And so he got tons of hate mail and tons of backlash for having hosted Ted Cruz, who's a horrible Texas senator, who was extremely anti-gay, who was extremely close-minded, and a complete moron, by the way, worse than George Bush, by the way, Jr. He hosted this guy who was completely against his own self-interest. And so he issued an apology a couple of days ago, and he says, quote, "I am shaken to my bones by the emails, texts, postings, and phone calls of the past few days. I made a terrible mistake. I was ignorant, naive, and much too quick in accepting a request to co-host a dinner with Cruz at my home without taking the time to completely understand all of his positions on gay rights. I've spent the past 24 hours reviewing videos of Cruz's statements on gay marriage, and I am shocked and angry. I sincerely apologize for hurting the gay community and so many of our friends, family, allies, customers, and employees. I will try my best to make up for my poor judgment again. I'm deeply sorry." I'm sorry, but that's fucking bullshit. First of all, how can you not know who Ted Cruz is, first of all? Secondly, what he stands for. And third, if you're going to have somebody speak, you're going to support someone, essentially, and have them speak at your home or your place of business and hosting a dinner for them, wouldn't it make sense for you to actually research them and see what the fuck they believe first? I think so. I'm sorry, this is unforgivable and the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. If he's being honest and truthful about this, he's a fucking idiot. Because who doesn't look? I mean, if I were hosting a dinner for a politician, I would look him up first or her up first and see what they believe before I agree to it. It's so fucking stupid. So anyway, he's gotten a huge backlash, but we've got morons like that don't help our cause as well. But the good thing is there are lots of signs coming forward in how people in the new generation, I should say the younger generations, are behaving and what they're doing about gay rights and just how they interact and how they handle gay issues in general. In general, it's far better than the previous generations ever were, and it seems to always be that way. Every generation seems to be far more progressive and open-minded than the one before it, generally speaking. And so much so that there was a kid in high school whose best friend was gay, who he asked him out to a prom very publicly on a huge banner. In a funny way, I can't remember what the banner said exactly, but it was really funny and cute. Essentially asked his gay best friend out to the prom. And he's not gay, he's straight, his friend's gay, but he actually asked him out to the prom, and he has no problem with that. He has no problem what people think about it. He has no problem if people think he's gay. He just wants to go out with his best friend because he didn't have a date, and he didn't have a date, and so they wanted to go together. So what's wrong with that, right? And so that's one way that people are, it seems like the new generation is getting, I don't know, better about these types of things. There's also people, though, of course, like straights who, unlike this guy, who are having straight pride parades. I mean, straight pride parades. Straight pride parades. Let's talk about straight pride, first of all. First of all, there are students that are in Ohio that essentially don't care about gay people, and they're having an 8-day straight pride week. The posters that they posted across their campus called for students to kick off finals week by not annoying the shit out of everyone about your sexual orientation, not telling everyone how different you are. Essentially saying that gay people do that all the time. Let's discuss and educate these people for a moment, and maybe educate yourself if you don't know or understand, or at least in my assessment of things, why there's gay pride. And then we'll talk about straight pride. The reason that there is gay pride, and how I've always seen it and I've always kind of boiled it down, is that it's for visibility. And this is how I see it. You may disagree, but it's for visibility. People always ask, why do you need a pride parade to celebrate your gayness? Well, the reason that we need a gay pride parade, of course, it's not as necessary as now as it was before, but it's still necessary, in my opinion, is so people, first of all, recognize that we exist. And secondly, that they cannot ignore us. As long as we continue to make ourselves visible without apology, because we shouldn't owe anyone an apology for being who and what we are, as long as we're able to continue to make our presence known, as my fraternity's motto was, by the way, making our presence known, was as long as that's happening, homophobes, people who hate us, people who don't want us to be able to have equal rights, etc., are not able to ignore us. They're not able to just turn their back and act like we don't exist. If we didn't do that, then they would be able to do that, and nothing would ever change or move forward. So it's about advancement of our causes. And something as simple and as small as having a pride parade or being visible about being gay or openly gay or coming out, those sorts of things, all of those things are feeding into the exact same thing a pride parade does, because these things are all about visibility. Visibility is important. You know, when I was a kid, there were so few people on TV that were gay. There were just, and so, you know, for example, if you're a little black girl, like Oprah Winfrey, for example, she'd always talked about when she was little, all she wanted was to see somebody like herself on television. She saw Diane Carroll in that role of Julia, the nurse, and she was like the first black female character on TV or something that wasn't like a hooker or something like that, you know, who was actually a lead role. And she just starved for someone who looked like her that she could relate to and emulate to some degree if she wanted to. And it's the same for gay kids. Gay kids want the same things. The same for me when I was a kid. I was starving for any kind of crumb of gayness that I could that helped me better understand myself, help me better understand other people and how to relate to them with being gay, heterosexuals or whatever, and gay relationships and sex and everything else. So because as a gay child, generally you're raised by heterosexual parents. As a result of that, unless your parents are very progressive and open-minded about being gay, you're not going to be able to go talk to them about what it's like to be gay and how you can be yourself and how to talk to people about being gay and I don't know, just the gay culture in general. And so that's all you're wanting. So I was talking today about how when I was a kid that it was just you're looking for any kind of person on television, and we were watching The View, and Ryan Phillippe was on there, and I was mentioning how he was one of the first gay people I saw on TV. He wasn't gay. He's not gay. I'm sorry. Gay characters on TV that I saw. And he was on One Life to Live as a 16-year-old when I was 16 years old, 15 or 16. And he played a gay guy, a gay teenager on the show. And that was incredibly groundbreaking, especially for the day. Looks like 1994, 3, something like that. No. 1916. How old would I have been? 16, 15. 1991, something like that. Anyway, so he was, a trailblazer without realizing it. And so this is why, me being a gay kid, I was like, oh my God, there's somebody who's gay, and look, he's normal. He's not like crazy or selling his body or whatever. He's like a normal person. He's not have AIDS or whatever. And so when you begin to find these crumbs in books and novels and movies and plays and things like that, I looked and read everywhere. I consumed it in comics, everything, trying to find people like myself. And so that's why it's so important to be visible with pride parades and with being openly gay, because you are helping the next generation. You're helping the people who come after you by the mere fact that you're open about who and what you are and unapologetic about it. And so just by the fact of living your life openly, that helps other people. Even if they're not kids, it helps people who haven't come out yet, who are older or whatever as well. It helps the general public and population not to be able to ignore our people, gay people. It helps to move forward, advance the rights that we are still fighting for and will continue to fight for a while. So these are the reasons why we have gay pride parades. Now, these straight people are wanting to have straight parades. Of course, they're doing it in a facetious manner and also and a mean-spirited one, trying essentially to somehow, undermine and somehow belittle our pride events and the reason we have them, as I just mentioned. So there is no need. The point is, there is no need for an opposite sex or heterosexual pride parade. If you want to have a pride parade, fine. Have a straight pride parade. Good for you. You're straight. Wonderful. But the only reason to have one is to be an ass about it, not because you really need one. You don't need a straight pride parade because straight people are not oppressed. You're not oppressed, straight people. Heterosexual people are not oppressed. Heterosexual people make up between 80 and 90% of the population in this country. They are not oppressed. And in the world, you can't be oppressed and be a majority, that much of a majority. It's just not possible. So there's nothing wrong with having a parade or having a pride event if they're doing it for the right reasons. But the point is, it's unnecessary and unneeded. No one needs a straight pride parade because you're not oppressed. It's like saying, let's have a pride parade for white, heterosexual, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant males. Fucking whatever. Who fucking needs that? You don't need it because you're not oppressed. You never have been. You never will be. So shut the fuck up. Okay. So did I discuss Bruce Jenner yet? No, I didn't. So let me talk about Bruce Jenner real quick. So Bruce Jenner, of course, as you know, came out. Did I talk about him already? I hope not. I kind of like went crazy with vomit today. Sorry. Vomiting, verbal vomit today. Vomiting diarrhea. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not high, by the way. I probably sound like it, but I'm just like I have like a lot of energy today. But Bruce Jenner came out. He is transgender. And as transgender, I think I did talk about this, but I don't think I went that much into it. But he came out as transgender, and he said he's not gay, and that he is actually heterosexual. So Diane Sawyer kept asking him, trying to get to the bottom of what does that mean? Does that mean that you're going to be a lesbian when you become a woman, or are you going to be like a straight female? So you're going to be into men? What does that mean? He wouldn't really answer her. And I think that, people do get confused sometimes by this question, whether being transgender means that you're straight or gay. It has nothing to do with it. Your sexual orientation and your gender are two different things, two separate entities. And people often conflate the two because they're not the same thing. Just because you're a man does not mean you're attracted to women. It could mean you're attracted to men, right? So because you're a man, it means that you can be gay, you can be straight, you can be bisexual, whatever, asexual, whatever. Same with a woman. So if you are a man who becomes a woman, as a man, you were heterosexual. That was your sexual orientation. You were attracted to women. So most likely it means that he's going to be a lesbian. And that's what I think. I don't know. But if he may actually have had repressed feelings and been gay and just not ever admitted to it, he said he's never had any kind of sexual relationship with a man. So if that's true, he probably is just a lesbian because he is a woman. So as a woman, he's attracted to other women, therefore he would be a lesbian. So that's what I think, but I don't know. I mean, who the fuck I know? But anyway, the other thing I was talking about quickly is where's my list? Hold on real quick. Talked about that. Oh, Hunting Season. Hunting Season, by the way, if you've never seen it, is a show on, I think it's on Amazon Prime or is it on Netflix? I can't remember which one it's on. I paid for it, so it must be on Amazon Prime or something. Anyway, it's a really good show about this guy who's, looking for love and whatever in New York City. And it's sort of like basically like a Sex in the City for gay guys, essentially. And it's very sexually explicit, by the way. Lots of penis and, all that stuff. So it's not shy at all. Anyway, it's coming back. It actually come back to yesterday or coming back tonight, I think, or something this week. So check that out. And if you haven't seen Hunting Season, you can go to, I think it's Hunting Season. Let me look for it real quick. Hunting Season TV, huntingseason.tv. And you can actually go on there and you can download the episodes. And they're not free. I think you can get them for free if you want to watch them in low quality. Oh, I know what it was. If you want to watch them without the sexual explicit nature, where they cut out the penises and they cut out the hot sex and stuff like that, then you can watch them for free. If you want to watch them full on, then you can download them for a price. I think it's like $20 for the whole season or something. So I watched it last year, and It's very good. It's a good show. It should be an actual real show on TV, like HBO or something, but it's not. But anyway,